Welcome to the dojo. You're about to take your first step on a path that's, well, it's long, but incredibly rewarding. I'll be your guide on this journey. So, first things first, whatever you think you know about fighting, I want you to set it aside. Today we begin to learn judo, the gentle way. All right, let's begin.
You see this quote? It's everything. Before you even think about facing an opponent, the real challenge is right here, inside yourself. You know, a lot of people think judo is about aggression, about being tough. It's not. It's about control. It's about humility and discipline. This is the foundation for everything we're going to build. It's all about mastering those impulses, finding a sense of calm and focus, a kind of stillness you're going to absolutely need out there on the mat.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. 4 key steps. We'll start with rei, the way of respect. Then we'll get into ukemi, which is the art of falling. From there, we'll talk about the language of movement, and we'll finish up by looking at the anatomy of a judo throw. This is the path. Every single person who starts judo follows this path.
All right, first things first, we always begin with what's most important. Before you learn a single technique, before you even take a step on the mat, you need to understand rei. It's the soul of judo, truly. Without respect, all these techniques we're going to learn, they're just empty, and honestly, they can be dangerous.
So what is rei? Well, it's way more than just a bow. Think of it as a physical way to show you're grateful, you're courteous, you're respectful. You show it to the dojo itself, you show it to your sensei, and you know who's most important? Your training partners. Every single time you bow, you're making a silent promise, a promise to train safely and to live up to what judo's all about.
In this respect, it's actually built right into our practice with 2 main kinds of bows. First, you've got ritsu-rei. That's the standing bow. It's your everyday greeting on the mat. The easiest way to think of it is like a firm, respectful handshake. Then you have za-rei, the sitting bow. This one's more formal. We do it at the very start and very end of class, all together as a group.
Listen, a bow without sincerity, it's just bending over at the waist. It means nothing. To do it right, to perform rei correctly, you have to actually acknowledge who or what you're bowing to. Move slowly, with humility, control the movement. Never ever rush it. This isn't just some formality we go through. It's a real moment of connection. In that respect, it extends to everything, the training space and especially our partners. A clean gi, your uniform, it shows you respect the person you're about to practice with. Trimming your fingernails and toenails, that prevents accidental scratches. Simple as that. Never wearing shoes on the mat protects this space and our feet. See, these aren't just a list of rules. They're acts of mutual care. We look out for each other here.
All right, moving on. Now, this next part might sound a little strange. The very next thing you're going to learn is how to fall. It's called ukemi. And I want to be clear, this has nothing to do with being defeated. It's about building the confidence you need to practice without being afraid. Honestly, it is the key to every single bit of progress you'll make from here on out. Ukemi, the word itself, literally means receiving body. It's all about body control. And this requires a big shift in how you think. Here's the paradox of judo. To learn how to throw, you first have to become completely comfortable with being thrown. Once you master ukemi, that fear of impact, it melts away. And that's what allows you and your partners to really commit to the techniques, knowing you'll both be safe.
The goal of ukemi is actually pretty simple, but it is absolutely vital. Think about it. When you fall, if you land on a single point, like your elbow, or worse, your head, all that force goes to one spot. Ukemi teaches you how to spread that force out over the biggest possible area, your back, your arms. It's a perfect example of a core judo principle, maximum efficiency. We're protecting our bodies using smart technique, not just trying to tough it out.
So why is this so critical? Let me put a number on it for you. A good throw can generate an impact force of up to 12 times your own body weight. Just let that sink in. 12 times. Ukemi is the skill that lets you absorb that incredible amount of energy safely, not just today, but day after day, year after year. That's why we practice our break falls over and over. It's essential.
So let's walk through the most basic fall. Ushiro ukemi, the back break fall. First, you're going to start low, in a crouch. Now, the single most important part, step 2, tuck your chin to your chest. Look at your belt. Always protect your head. From there, you fall backward, but onto a rounded back. And just as you land now, you slap the mat hard, with both arms at about a 45-degree angle. That slap, that's your shock absorber. That's what dissipates all that impact we were just talking about.
Okay, so you understand respect, you know how to fall safely. Now it's time to learn how to move. I want you to think of your posture, your grips, your footwork as the alphabet and grammar of judo, because without them, you can't form the sentences, which are our techniques.
Everything starts with your posture, or what we call shisei. This is your foundation. First, you have shizentai. This is your natural posture, upright, relaxed, but ready. It lets you move and attack easily. But what if you need to defend? That's when you drop into jigotai. You sink down, widen your stance, lower your center of gravity. You basically become an anchor, much, much harder to move.
Next up is kumikata. This is the art of gripping. Seriously, you should think of it like you're having a conversation through your hands. The way you grip your partner's gi, their uniform, is your main way to communicate with and control them. A good grip lets you feel exactly where their balance is, lets you guide their movement, and most importantly, it lets you create the opening for a throw.
Even the way we walk on the mat, our shintai, is a specific skill. You've got a few different tools. There's ayumi ashi, which is basically a normal walk for covering distance. But more often, you'll use tsugi ashi. This is the following footstep, where one foot never passes the other, so you always stay in a strong stance. And underpinning all of it is suriashi, a kind of shuffling or gliding step. Your feet barely leave the mat, which keeps you connected and stable at all times.
And all of this movement comes together in what we call tai sabaki, body shifting. If posture is the foundation, tai sabaki is the engine of judo. It's this dynamic turning movement that links your whole body together into one powerful unit. It's how you can slip past an attack, but even more importantly, it's how you pivot yourself into the perfect spot to launch your own attack.
All right, now we get to put it all together. This is where everything, the respect for your partner, the safety from ukemi, the language of movement we just talked about, this is where it all combines. We're going to break down a judo throw into its 3 essential parts.
Pay close attention here. Every single throw in judo, every single one, no exceptions, is made of these 3 phases. Phase 1, kuzushi. That's unbalancing your opponent. Phase 2, tsukuri. That's fitting your body into position. And phase 3, kake. That's the execution of the throw. Say it with me. Kuzushi, tsukuri, kake. You master that sequence, you master judo.
So let's talk about kuzushi. What is it, really? It's not about brute force. It's not just yanking or shoving. It's the fine art of off-balancing someone. And you can do it in 8 different directions. Your entire goal is to shift their center of gravity just a little bit, right outside their feet. The moment you do that, they become vulnerable, and you can throw them with very little effort. That is the essence of the gentle way.
Okay, so their balance is broken. What's next? You move immediately and swiftly into tsukuri. This is your entry. It's a fast, precise movement to get your body into the perfect throwing position. Usually this means getting your center of gravity lower than theirs. And once you're set, it's time for kake, the execution. This is the final, committed action, the point of no return that brings your partner down to the mat. But listen carefully. The throw doesn't actually end with kake. There's one more step, nage, the fall itself. Your responsibility for your partner isn't over when they leave their feet. It's not over until they have landed safely on the mat. You guide them, you control the fall, you make sure they can do their ukemi properly. This is that principle of mutual welfare we talked about put right into action.
Now you're going to hear a lot of new words in here. Don't worry, you'll pick them up fast. The dojo, that's this training hall, our place of study. I'm your sensei, your teacher. Randori is what we call free practice. We've talked a lot about rei, the bow of respect. But if there's one concept to really take to heart, it's jitekaioi, mutual welfare and benefit. It means we're all in this together, helping each other improve.
And just like that, we're at the end of your first lesson. We've gone over the absolute foundations, respect, safety, and the basic mechanics of technique. But the real goal of judo, it's to build a kind of character that helps you in every part of your life. So I'll leave you with a question to think about. How will you take this spirit of jitakiyoe, this idea of mutual prosperity and helping others, how will you carry that with you when you walk out those doors? Think about it. Your training has just begun.